Hey, what's up everyone? Today I'm very excited to show you my mini action Voltus 5. Now, I've been wanting a Voltus 5 since I was a kid. It's one of my favorite, if not my favorite cartoons. And there's just not many toys of him available out there, and the ones that are is very expensive, like the Soul of Chigoken, the new Soul of Chigoken full action, which doesn't combine, so that's not really what I want. This is what I want. This is just perfect for me. Well, not perfect. I'd prefer if it's a little bit bigger, but it's fine. I just love this thing. Now the box here is very retro looking, which I like. Red lines kind of remind me of the old G1 Transformers toys. And looking at the back, it's just the volt units and the combined Voltus 5. It's made by Action Toys. I think it's made in 2019, if I'm not mistaken. I don't see any date on the box, but yeah, I think it's made in 2019 or 2020. I'm not so sure. Anyway, this is the second run because the first release of this figure is I missed out on that one because I actually didn't know this existed. I was just surprised it's released. So yeah, the second wave I had this figure. So anyway, let's open him up. And what you get inside is a tray, a single tray, with all the parts and the instruction. Now I don't need to show you the instruction because that's actually the purpose of the review, so that you don't need the aid of the instructions. Anyway, the tray consists of the 5-volt units, 3 pairs of hands, and the laser sword. That's the only accessory that it has, unfortunately, but I actually made some custom accessories for this guy, and I think I'm gonna show you that in a separate video. So for the meantime, let's just open this up, and I want to start off with the cruiser. Now, when I first opened this, I was really impressed with the painting because it's a white paint on the red plastic. That's usually hard to pull off. Usually there's a lot of bleeding, but this coat of paint is actually nicely done. There's no bleeding, the lines are crisp, and the face is actually really, really good. The proportion of it's nicely done. I like the eyes. It's a yellow painted part. The silver is glorious. Even the yellow on the crest is nicely done. This is separate plastic. Unfortunately, the face is already revealed on the cruiser mode. It doesn't flip out, but considering its size, I don't mind. It's gonna be really fragile if they actually manage to do the thing where it flips while you transform it. The cockpit is blue, clear piece with the silver paint inside, which is nicely done. So yeah, it's the smallest of the 5 units as well, but certainly my favorite. Okay, let's move on to the bomber, Mark's ship. This is my second favorite. Unfortunately, there's no locking parts here and here. This one kind of slides. The cockpit is very loose, doesn't lock, but I still like it. It's neat. I like how it looks like a box. The silver is just awesome. So yeah, that's the bomber. Now let's move on to the Volt frigate, Little John's ship. The largest as well. Now, this thing here, it's not that loose. See? It's fine. And probably the more solid of the two, between the bomber and the frigate. Actually, one of the more solid of all. This is actually solid because there's barely any moving part here, but considering considering that this is the legs, I like how solid it is. Doesn't really move that much when you shake it. And again, the white paint on the red plastic is actually really good. Nicely done. Even the red tip here, painted nicely. Same blue cockpit with silver paint inside, so that's nice. Now, the Panzer. As a kid, I really like the Panzer, but and this guy, not so much. Probably one of the weakest, because for one, it's very hollow. You can actually see right through the figure, the vehicle here. And this is loose. The cockpit's loose. Kind of moves all over the place. And it also has a gimmick, which is this thing here, the claw. I mean, it's neat, but I don't really need that. The threads don't move, it's just solid plastic. So, there's that. Now, lastly is the lander. Lander is one of the more gorgeous looking piece because of the silver paint here. And it's one of the more colorful ones. I mean, they all share the same color palette, but it's just more distributed here in the lander. And when you get them out of the box, you need to flip these things out because it's so fragile. They had to fold it in order for them to fit in the box. Again, silver paint beneath the blue clear plastic for the cockpit. And this thing here kind of slides easily. See? So, kind of bothers me. This is actually the second weakest because, as you can see, there's also that gap there. See? It doesn't fully close. But that's fine. I mean, under separate vehicle form, they're not the most prettiest things, but combined is where they shine. Now the accessories, we'll look at it last. For now, let's just focus on Voltus 5. So let's bolt in. Now, first off, we gotta get the cruiser here. There's a socket there and ball joint, and you need to snap it out just like that, and then that's a ratchet joint there, and then fold this thing like that. That's it for the head. Now set that aside. We get the bomber. The bomber, we fold this down. Be careful with this piece. You need to unhinge this and swing this all the way to the back, just like that. I really love the setup here. It's just better than the SOC in my opinion, and it's very clean here too. Now after we do that, we swing this down, creating the arms. If you watch Voltus 5, you probably know how this thing goes. Now I would recommend you to hold the cockpit here when you combine it. So you just plug this in, snaps into place, and we got that done. Now the Panzer, press the cockpit, swing this up, and then you push this inside, just like that. And we just plug that in, just like that. Now the Volt frigate, you need to push that down, swing it outwards, and press it again. Fold this inward, fold the cockpit down, press this part here so it collapses. And this is a stiff connection, so be careful. You just gotta line this up and push, and there you have it. Now we have here the lander. Just fold that down, separate the two pieces here, and fold it like that. Now it's just a matter of pegging it in. Actually, clips in. And this thing did not clip in. Okay. And we're almost done. We just need our hands. Now I'll put oh wait, actually let me just put that hand there and give him a holding hand there. And there we have Voltus 5, and he is gorgeous. I like how it looks. The proportion is great. The combination is a little bit fragile, but it's fine. Now, as you can see, it does have open hands and holding hands, a pair of them here. It also has a set of fist hands, so it's just hands without holes in it. And for accessories, he only comes with a laser sword, and he does hold it fairly well. You can get your poses. Plus, if you use the laser sword, you can actually detach this piece here, so it looks like he actually pulled it out of his chest. One thing that bothers me though is that it's different in size. This is bigger than this, so when you recreate the pose, it's not fitting accurately. But that's just a minor nitpick. Also, I don't usually remove that anyway. So yeah, for articulation, this is actually very nice because the cruiser here does have a hinge like that, so you can turn the head while still make the cruiser flat on the back. I don't think the SOC can do that. And the arms can go out that far, rotate all the way around, bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, ball jointed hands, no waist unfortunately. It does have the drop down hips, so you can move forwards 90, outwards that far. I'm a single jointed knee, and it does have a ball joint at the foot, and due to the transformation you can bend the ankles inward like so. So all in all, it does have a wide range of motion. Yeah, I like it a lot. And for size comparison, I want to show different types of figures here. First off, here's a 1:1 4:4 scale high grade Barbatos. It's a little bit taller, probably along the heights of taller high grades like the Unicorn or the San Andrew. Now here is alongside import a Japanese figure, SH Figure Arts, alongside Batman. And unfortunately, this is the only Marvel Legends that I have, so yeah. He's in the middle of the two in terms of height. So yeah, that's about it for Voltus 5. It's a very nice figure. It's cheap for what it is. I mean, for being a Voltus 5 figure, he's actually the cheapest, except probably for the super deformed one. But yeah, I hope you enjoy this review, and if you see this guy, go buy him. It's very, very worth it, especially if you grew up watching Voltus 5. So that's about it, and see you on the next review.